Hey guys, so just before you get into the video, I just want to show you what you'll be learning today. So it's going to be a really simple little quest system thing that just asks you to click a bunch of trees, once you activate the quest with this part. And we worked on animations in this video, so we were going to animate the trees, create this little GUI that keeps track of, the progression of the quest. And then once you finish the quest, it says completed and everything, and you can just restart it as many times as you want to. So yeah, I made sure to explain like tween services and player attributes with the animations and everything. So that's what you guys will be learning today. If ever you don't want to follow along this video, even though I made sure like to keep it pretty simple, if ever you don't want to follow along, I pasted the scripts in the Discord server. You can just join that in the I'm going to link it down below somewhere, probably in the comment section. You just join the Discord and copy paste the scripts if that's what you want. If you want to follow along, I promise it's going to be really simple. We didn't use anything too complicated, and I made sure to explain everything. If you ever have any questions, just ask in the comment section or in the Discord. You can DM me, you can do whatever. I will answer 100%. So okay, with that being said, I'll let you guys get into the video. Thank you for being here. Bye. Hey guys, first of all, I'd like to say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all of you. I'm currently recording this on the 1st of January, so yeah, it's been a pretty crazy week. I haven't uploaded in a while, for the few of you who have been on this channel multiple times, that's because of the holidays and whatnot, but I'm super excited to get back into it. So for this video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make a tree clicker system kind of thing. It's like a quest system, and we're going to be learning tween service and quests and whatnot. It's going to be, I think, pretty simple and fun. Now for those of you who don't want to follow along, because I'm pretty sure this video is going to be a bit long, you can just join the Discord server. I'm going to put it in the description section. I'm going to post all these scripts there. So yeah, if you don't want to follow along, you're welcome to just go inside the server and copy paste the scripts. If you do want to follow along, I promise I'll keep this really simple. Trust me, it's nothing too complicated today. If you have any questions, you can ask in the Discord, you can DM me, you can ask in the comments, whatever. So okay, with all of that being said, let's get straight into it. The first thing you want to do is to actually create the tree, and it's pretty simple. I'm just going to create a tree. The one thing you want to make sure you do is you want to drag the part down under the base plate. And that's just because, whenever we're spawning the tree, I do want to spawn it at different Y levels, you see? So it kind of gives the impression that the trees are different, like lengths and whatnot. So make sure you do that. I want to change the color to like a dark brown, kind of just like a tree trunk. And then duplicate this, and then rotate it a bit, and scale it down to give the impression like it's a nice little, bent over tree. And then duplicate this, scale it again. This is going to be the leaves. So, just a basic little tree, nothing too complicated. I do want to change the color of the leaves to like a dark green. So, okay, and then drag this up like this. Nice. So now we have our ugly little tree, and this is what we're going to be working with. Now what you want to do is select all three parts. You want to go to model and you want to click union, and that's just so like we have one model that we can work with and scale and whatnot, and make sure that your model is anchored so that when you spawn it like in the workspace, it doesn't fall down. So okay, now inside this union, which I'm going to rename tree, I want to put a click detector, and inside that, well, no, I'm not going to put the script yet, we're going to work on it later. So okay, now that that's done, I can drag it down to server storage, and that's done. Now let's work on creating the part that's going to spawn the trees. So it's just going to be a part. Inside that I want to put a click detector, and inside that I want to put a script. Now inside the script you want to define the tree. So local server tree is game server storage wait for child tree, and then you want to say script.parent.mouse click connect function. And what you want to do is you want to just clone the tree. So ss tree:clone. You want to put the tree inside the game.workspace, and you want the tree.position to be something like a vector3.newMath.random, let's say -60 to 60, and I added extra brackets for some reason. I'm just going to delete that. And you want the y value to be like 1 to 7, and then you want the z value to be negative 60 to 60. So okay, I can go and check and see if that works. So I'm just going to click this a bunch of times, and as you can see, the trees do in fact spawn in this kind of 60 square, and the different y values, as you can see, kind of gives the impression that the trees have different lengths. So that's pretty cool. So now we can work on the animation for the tree. So inside the tree, there's a click detector. Inside that, you want to put a script, okay? And to create an animation, we're going to work with the tween service. So tweens are just animations for parts, okay? And to create a tween, you need a couple of things, which I'll explain in detail. So the first thing you want to do is you want to define the tween service, and the tween service is what basically just creates the tween. So now you want to say script.parent.mouseClick connect function, and what happens is, to create a tween, you need the tween info, right? Then you need a general goal, then you need a tween goal, then you need to create the tween, and finally you need to play the tween. Okay, so that's what you need basically to create a tween. Now I'm going to define each and every one of them. So the tween info, which I wrote twee info for some reason. So the tween info is basically something from Roblox that holds 3 arguments. It holds the time, it holds the easing style, and the easing direction. Okay, so the time is the duration of the animation, which we're going to set to 0.3. The easing style is like, I don't know, there's a bunch of easing styles. We're going to use linear for that. There's like a chart on like the Roblox page that kind of gives you like an animation for every style. I'm not gonna look it up now, but just know that there's a bunch of easing styles, and there's a bunch of 3 I think easing directions. There's in, out, and in, out. For this, we're just going to use out. So okay, that's the tween info. Now the goal is just basically what we want the final result to be. What we want the final result to be is we want our tree size to go down, right? Now if you go inside here, tree size, you see there's x, y, and z values. So we're going to define each and every one of them. So first we have to define the tree, which is just script.parent.parent. And our goal, right, so the local goal is, so the vector3.new, we want the x size to go down by 1, we want the y size to go down by 1, and we want the z size to go down by 1, right? That's our goal. So we have to define what x, y, and z mean. So just local x is the tree.size.x, local y is the tree.size.y, and local z is the tree.size.z. So that's our goal, right? Our goal is for the x to go down by 1, the y to go down by 1, and the z to go down by 1, and we want this goal to be equal to the tree size, and that's where the tween goal comes in. Tween goal is going to be inside squiggly lines. You just want the size to be equal to the goal that we've just defined, right? So that's basically all that we need. Now we just need to create the tween. So we just say local tween is equal to tween service colon create. Then you want to grab the instance, which is the tree. You want to grab the tween info, and then you want to grab the goal, tween goal, and then you want to play the tween. So I can just show you guys what that looks like. So if we spawn a tree and we click it, as you can see, it scales down on the x, the y, and the z by 1. But for now it scales down until infinity, just because we haven't defined what happens after we click it a certain amount of times. But we've basically finished the animation and it looks pretty clean. So now let's work on the sort of tree HP mechanic, basically the tree that destroys after a certain amount of clicks. So to do that, whenever we're cloning a tree and putting it inside workspace, we want to create a value inside that tree that kind of holds the current HP that tree has, right? So you want to create a tree HP, so just instance.new integer value. You want to name it to tree HP dot name, and we want to name it because we want to access it from this script, right? So we just want to name it. We want the tree HP dot parent to be the tree that we've just cloned, right? Or that we just created. And we want the tree HP.value to be anywhere between, say, 3 to 6, for example. So I'll just show you what that looks like. If we spawn a bunch of trees, inside every tree, there's going to be an integer value that's called tree HP that holds a random value. So that tree is going to have 6 HP, that tree is going to have 3, that tree is going to have 5, etc. So every tree now holds, an integer value that, represents their HP. So now inside this script, you want to define what we've just created. So you just say local tree HP is going to be the tree.tree HP. And the reason why that works, this works because we're only accessing the tree HP whenever this tree is getting placed into workspace, right? So it's going to work. It's not going to give us an error because tree HP already exists at the point where we're calling it, right? So now whenever we're clicking the tree, we want this to go down by 1. So you just say tree HP dot value to go down by 1, and we can actually just print tree HP dot value, tree HP dot value, just to show you guys that it does in fact work. So now we've created a bunch of trees in workspace. We go here, it has 3 HP, it's 2 HP, it has 1 HP, and then it has 0 HP. And now we need to define what happens, when it reaches 0 HP. So you just say if tree HP dot value equals 0, and then we want the tree to get destroyed. Okay, and I can show you guys what that works like. And with that, we've pretty much done half of the work already. So 2 1 0 2 1 0 4 3 2 1 0, and that's basically how it works for every single tree. We have their HP and everything works fine. Okay, now for the next step, we need to incorporate GUIs, right? And the GUIs is going to be the frame. We're just going to put a frame inside the screen GUI, inside start GUI, and that frame is going to represent the quest. So you can scale it up like this. I'm going to make it like 0.3 transparency, change the color to something like this. I think this looks fine. And I'm going to rename it to quest frame. Okay. Now inside this, I want to put a local script, and I want to make sure, well, first I want to define the queue frame. So script.parent, and I want to make sure that it's visible is false when the game begins. Now you want to define the user input service, and that's game get service user input service, and then you want to say user input service dot input began connect function, and if key dot keycode in dot keycode dot queue, then we want the if not queue frame dot visible, then queueFrame.visible equals true, else queueFrame.visible equals false. And all we're doing is we're just making sure that when we click Q, it's visible, and if we click Q again and it's visible, it's going to go invisible. So it's just a little, quest frame popper kind of thing. So now, how are we going to, tackle the whole GUI thing? Well, the first thing we need to do is we need to create 2 different frames. Okay, the first frame that we're going to create, I'm going to call it not active, and place it in the center and make it completely transparent. This frame is only going to be visible once this frame is only going to be visible when the quest is not active, right? So inside it, I'm going to put a text label, and I'm just going to put it in the center, scale it up, then make it transparent. So transparency, where is it? Oh, it's here. And then bold, scaled, and then change the font to indie flower. And I'm going to rename this just not active again. Not active. Not active. Active. There you go. So now this is only visible when there's no quest that's active, right? So you just go inside the local script, and I'm just going to define everything. So local not active is the QFrame.notActive, and local text, or I guess not active text, is the notActive.notActive. There you go. So we want to change that text, so not active text.text to be something like no quest currently active. So that's just a little no quest currently active GUI thing whenever we don't have a quest active, right? So now we're going to create a part that actually gives a quest, right? So I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna change the color to like red. I'm gonna rename this to QGiver for quest giver, and just the same thing, click detector and script, and then you want to say script dot parent dot mouse click connect function, grab the player, and then you want something to happen whenever this quest or whenever this brick is getting clicked. We want to update the GUI, so for that we need a remote event to link server script and local script, and I'm going to rename this quest active. You want to define that event, scheme get service, replicate storage, wait for child quest active. Then you want to say event fire client. So all we're doing is that we're firing the event whenever this part is getting clicked. You can copy that line, go here, and then define the event. And you want to say event dot on client event connect function, and then we want the not active dot visible to be false. So all we're doing is right now there's no quest currently active. If we click this, it goes invisible because the quest is activated. Now we want to create other labels. So inside quest frame, you want to put a frame. That frame, we're going to call it active. Oh no, we can't call it active. We're going to call it is active. If you're wondering why we can't call it, it's because GUIs have this active property, so it won't actually work. So is active. Inside this, you want to put a text label. I just want to put it like this, and this label I'm gonna call it like, I don't know, activated or something. Whoops. Activated. I have a new keyboard, so it's kind of been a struggle to adjust. I want to put another text label, drag it down here, make it big. Now actually I'm just going to style this first. I want to make this transparent, scale it, bold it, and make it indie flower. Same thing for this one, scale it, bold it, make it indie flower, and then make the background transparent. And I'm going to call this one tracker, because this one's going to count how many trees we have to click. Make it even a bit bigger. I think this is fine, like this. Okay. So all right, now we have the is active and the not active. We go inside here and we just want to define everything. So local active or is active is the QFrame.isActive. Local I don't know, activated text is the isActive.activated, and local tracker text is the isActive.tracker. So all right, whenever this is happening, whenever we're activating the quest, we want the isActive.visible to be true because it begins at false. So isActive.visible equals false. We want the isActive.visible to be true. So if we go here, right now it's invisible, and if we activate it, it becomes visible. And actually I'm just going to make the frame completely transparent. There you go. So okay, we want to change the text. So I want the activated.text to be something like, I don't know, click 8 trees, and then I want the tracker text to be something like you have clicked 0 out of 8 trees. Go and check and see how that looks, if it's fine or not. Okay, so the tracker is a bit too big. I'm just gonna scale it down a bit. There you go. And we can go and check and see how that looks. Should look fine now. Yeah, I guess it looks kind of fine. I mean, you could make it, you know, a bit prettier. You know, I mean, for now it's fine, whatever. So now we want to actually update the well, the tracker text, right? So how do we do that? Well, you have to go inside this script, right? The trees are getting destroyed here. Now, whenever the trees are destroyed, we want to update the GUI. So to do that, we just add another remote event. We're going to call this tracker, and we can define it here. Get service, replicate storage, wait for child tracker, right? So whenever this happens, we want the event to get fired. Okay, we can copy this line. Whoops, copy this line, go inside the local script, and then put it here. So I'm just gonna put it here, and I'm gonna change the variable name to event2. Say event2 dot on client event connect function. And what happens is we want the tracker.text to get updated, right? So in here. Now, we want the 0 to go up by 1, by 1, by 1, by 1 every time it gets, you know, fired, right? So we can just do that by defining a counter. So whenever this event is getting fired, we want the counter to go up by 1. And then we just want to say, you know, quotation marks, dot, dot, counter, dot, dot. There you go. Whoops. And don't forget the space here. So I'm just going to show you guys that this works, because we activate the quest, and then whenever the one tree is getting destroyed, we're updating tracker. Second tree is getting destroyed, we're updating tracker. Third tree, fourth tree, and so on and so forth. So the tracker updating works, but now it doesn't know what it should do once it hits 8. So we can just define that. We just say if counter equals 8, then we want the not active, or no, sorry, we want the activated text dot text to be something like, I don't know, completed. We want the tracker text dot text to be something like, you have clicked all the trees. And I mean, that's pretty much it. So I'm just gonna check and see. We'll spawn a bunch of them, activate the quest, just get 8 real quick. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 completed. You have clicked all the trees. And then what we want to happen is we want task.wait, say, I don't know, 1.5 seconds. Then we want to reset the activated text to click 8 trees. We want to reset the tracker text to this. We want to reset the counter to 0. We want to make the is active visible false. And then we want to make the not active visible to true. And we also want to make sure that the quest frame.visible is going to be false. Okay, so all we're doing, I just hate the spaces here, so I'm going to delete them. So all we're doing is, well, whenever we're finished clicking 8 trees, we're just restarting everything from 0, right? So let's just click 8. There you go. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It says completed. You have clicked all the trees. Then it goes invisible. And we open it again, and it says no quest currently active, and nothing happens if we click the trees, right? So okay, yeah. Also, I'm sorry. Something does happen whenever we click the trees. So if we click the trees, and you know the quest isn't even active, it's going to start counting. Like say 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we activate the quest. Is going to say we've clicked 4 when we haven't, right? So to fix that, we actually need to work with attributes. So how do we work with attributes? Well, all you have to do is you go inside the quest giver, right? This one. Whenever we're activating the quest, we want to put an attribute inside the player, right? So we say player set attribute quest active, and we want to put that to true. And I'll just show you what what an attribute is, right? So an attribute, if I go inside the player, you see here attributes, I don't have an attribute, but if I click this, now I do, and it's set to true. So an attribute is basically just a information that you can store inside players, and that information can hold like any type of value. You know, it could hold I don't know, a C frame, it could hold colors, it could hold udim, it could hold numbers, it could hold boolean, strings, whatever. Attributes are so important because they allow you to store information inside players without, you know, messing with their properties or anything. So attributes are really important. So what we're doing is whenever we're activating the quest, we're setting an attribute called quest active, and we're setting that to true whenever the quest is getting activated. Okay, so obviously we only want this to happen if the player doesn't have quest active set to true, right? Because if it does, then we don't want it, you know, to happen again. So we just say if not quest, or if not player get attribute quest active, then we just want this to happen. And I can just, you know, I'm pretty sure I explained it bad, so I'm going to add a print statement, and I'm going to print activated and else print already active. Oops, already active. I'm just going to show you guys what it does, because I explained it pretty badly. So right now we don't have a quest active attribute, right? But if we click it, we are going to have a quest active attribute, and it's going to say activated. And if we try to click it again, it's just going to say already active. So we're not, you know, nothing's going to happen. So with this, we can only, you know, activate the quest once until, you know, we finished it again. And now we have a way of, you know, finding if the quest is active or not. So now you go inside here, right? Whenever the tree HP is getting destroyed and we're firing this, well, we only want to fire this, right, if the quest is active, right? So you just say if player get attribute quest active, you know, then we want this to happen. Okay, and that kind of fixes everything, because, well, you're gonna see if we spawn a bunch of trees, if like we spawn a bunch of trees before activating the quest and we destroy them, so now we've destroyed 2 trees, and we start the quest, it's not going to like take into account the trees that we've destroyed without the quest being active, right? Because we're using attributes. Okay, but now how do we make it so that quest active, this attribute, can be false whenever the quest is done? Well, to do that, you just go here, right? Whenever the task.wait happens, so whenever we have 8, whenever the task.wait finishes, we want to refire the same event. So we just say event to fire server, and then you want to go inside, you know, the script where you're firing that event. So this one, you just want to say event.onServer event connect function player, and you want to say player set attribute quest active, and you want to put it to false. Okay, and I'm not even going to bother explaining because I'm really bad at it, but I'm just going to show you guys what it does. So right now, if you go inside players, we don't have an attribute. Okay, if we spawn, let's say 4 trees, and we destroy all 4, 2, 3, 4, and then we summon or we activate the quest, it's not going to say that we've destroyed 4 trees. So now we do have an attribute, it's set to true. Let's say we destroy 8 trees, or actually let's say we destroyed 3 trees and we try to activate the quest again. It's not going to work because the quest active is already true. So we go here, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then we wait, and then this isn't turning false for some reason. Let's see why. Why isn't it? Because I fired the wrong event. You see here, event 2 is the tracker. We actually have to fire the quest active, so that is my fault. So yeah, we fired the wrong event. So as I was saying, we activate the quest, spawn a bunch of trees, go inside a player. You see here the attribute is set to true. If we click 8 trees, just like this, 5, 6, 7, 8. We wait a bit, and then it's going to be false, and then we can start the quest again at 0. So okay, that kind of fixes the problem that we had with the trees, you know, getting counted whenever the quest wasn't even active. And well, with that being said, hey guys, so as I was watching the video, you know, watching it back, just like making sure everything was fine, I kind of noticed that there was a little problem with the code. Like, just pay attention to like the GUI, right? So once we get to more than 8, as you can see, it kind of updates when it's not supposed to. Like, I don't know if you noticed that. I'm just gonna show you again. So if we get to more than 8, it kind of like continues going up and then it goes invisible. So to fix that, well, I mean, it's really simple. You just have to change the equal to bigger or equal to 8. And I kind of just noticed that, you know, as I was just rewatching the video. So if you did, you know, get this far, make sure that you kind of change that. Like right now it won't update when it's not supposed to. So yeah, I just wanted to make that little clarification. So okay, let's get back to the video. I mean, this is it. We have the whole tree quest thingy with the animations and the quest active and player attributes and whatnot. So okay, I hope that I explained it pretty clearly. I think I kind of fumbled the explanation at some point. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. As I said at the beginning of the video, I hope this video wasn't too long. I'm not sure how long it was. So okay guys, thank you for watching. If you know you enjoyed it, interact with the video. If you want the scripts, join the Discord. If you have questions, ask, blah blah blah, all of that stuff. So okay guys, thank you for being here. Bye.